Yo, we are going to get into another couple videos. I got a short joint coming up here. Excuse me. We got a short video coming up. Just something I came across quick. Mom finds out daughter slept with teacher. Really unfortunate stuff. I have two little daughters. Um, so if this would have been me back in the day, maybe I would have been a little bit more excited. But I don't know if I'm going to comment too much on it. It's only a 58-second video. Um, Let it roll through, and then I have another one planned on um, can you go too far with plastic surgery? Um, so I hope everybody's doing really well out there, feeling good today. Just finished watching the Formula One race with Lewis Hamilton taking the victory. Still behind in the championship points listing, but couple more races to go. Hopefully, he can pull it through. Hope you guys are out there who are listening potentially. Hope you're feeling clear. Hope you're feeling happy and positive. Hope you're spending time with the people that you enjoy the most. So, without further ado, let's see what the mother does when she finds out that the daughter has slept with the teacher. So, this is I don't know. This is different stuff right here, obviously. So, get my hat right. Hey, babe. Hey, Richie, babe. Love you to death. Also, if you can hear me, I'll also be dropping the merch collection here really, really soon. As you can see, I got one of the joints on for myself here. Got some, we got a whole lot of detail going on for them. They're really lit. They're really well done. The cotton is extremely comfortable. So once I have that live for you guys, I hope you guys appreciate that. I got a lot of different designs for you guys. Um, Shout out to Anweave. Shout out to Salami. Shout out to McGrunch. Look out for those favorables and those treats from my guy McGrunchy. Not Mechanic, who just joined us. Shout out to him. Again, Anweave, I appreciate you, buddy. My beautiful wife, Richie. The real Sky. I really appreciate you guys. I hope you guys are doing really well. Always really good to see you guys in the Discord. If you're watching this video and you're not on the Discord and you're interested, go ahead and send us a message on Xbox Live or through YouTube or through Twitch, and we'll get you linked in there so you can get to cruising with us. We do a lot of driving, we do a lot of other goofy shenanigans too, but we try to take a nice role play approach. So let's get into the video. Shawty had them apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. Got the whole club looking at her. She's the Jessica. Yo. Did you sleep with your goddamn teacher? What? Did you sleep with your teacher? Mr. Wilson? Mr. Wilson. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yo, Mr. Olson? No! She started screaming right away that she didn't. Looks obvious that she did. You're a little slut. Yo, so she called her a little slut, and then she gave her a big time right slap. Um, She was like, "Look, I was failing chemistry. What can I do but use a commodity?" Now, this isn't the kid's fault. Obviously, this is the teacher's fault. The teacher should be basically tried. I think this kid's gonna get kicked out of their house. I wonder what the consequence was for the teacher. Um, there has to be something weird going on. Like if you're a teacher and you're hanging around 16-year-old girls all the time, and it can't be good for the psyche to have them try to pander to you, and you selecting people to show favoritism towards and to be leaders of the class. There's just some underlying other effort there. And if you're to put yourself in a situation where you're having sex with a student, obviously it's really morally wrong. So, um, not looking down upon anybody. It seems like she was in a situation where she felt like she would have rather um, had sex than fail the class. Um, if you've heard my recent video on pretty privilege, maybe go ahead and listen to it again. Are you cute enough to where you would be able to bang the teacher in order to avoid the F? What? You're out of the house! Oh, you're sick! You're out! She said, "You're sick." She called the no, the mother called the daughter sick and said that you're out. I wouldn't be so far to take it to sick. It's sex, and for however illegal it was, it may have been consensual. Um, Sick. It doesn't seem to be like it's wrong, but sick tends to remind me of a different boundary. Come on, we live in America. People fantasize about being with their teachers and stuff all the time. So it's kind of like, is it sick or is it immoral? I'm thinking it's a little bit more immoral than it is sick. Um, so she's obviously distraught. She's upset. The mom is done. It seems like the mother has probably been put in a situation where the kids messed up a couple times, and now this is the final straw. I mean, like if your teen daughter's walking around with shit like this on, there's something going on. The Uber, I mean, all girls wear the Uber tight pants, but the crop top, like over, showing your body, growing, for a father like myself, like your daughter, like growing into her body and stuff like that, and wanting to show it off and wanting to date boys and stuff like that is it's definitely going to be a challenge for a father like myself in some way, but I'm not going to put myself in a situation where my kid basically hates me because I'm not allowing them to be a free person or a regular 16-year-old person. Um, Definitely going to be a challenge. It's definitely a challenge to have daughters in this way. It's like if you've listened to any of my other videos, it's really about like it's really interesting to try to save younger women from their own God-given sexuality. I guess there's something a little bit twisted about that. Um, so let's rewind it really quickly just to go right back into it so you can see the exchange. She pops up out of her chair. You're out of the house. What? You're out of the house. Yo, the mom, dead serious. Like you can see how she was moving. Like this seems real. I don't know if maybe this is a mock up. Maybe this isn't real, but it seems real. I'm always wondering, like, the shrill scream seems so innate. The screaming. Why is screaming so natural? Why would that be a natural expression? Why would that be a natural noise to hear such a shrill, high pitched scream? I feel sorry for the girl. She definitely made a bad choice. Like again, I'm wondering more about the teacher and what he's doing today. No. With the pull, I got a big ankle. I'm gonna say that I prefer no clothes. I mean, I love when exposed.
exposed. She threw it back at me.
So
I'm
I'm
gonna
sorry
say
about
I
that.
prefer no clothes. I mean, I love when being exposed. She threw it back at me.
Wow. Um,
I'm gonna say
the
I prefer
funniest
no.
part of this, not funniest part, but rather the funny part of this video, and shout out to you, Fallback X. I appreciate you, buddy. The funny part of this video is that she sits back down and continues the apple bottom jeans lyrics. Again, this was just a quick hitter. I just wanted to get into it. Just for an intro, we're going to be getting into can you go too far with plastic surgery? Um, I think this girl, she seems liberal with her sexuality. She's very pretty, has the details going on and stuff like that. Seems pretty quirky. Is online, kind of maybe was trying to get herself ready for e-girl work. E-girl work. If you're familiar with e-girls, these girls are showing everything essentially online at a constant bending over, playing in pools, playing video games with their breasts out, stuff like that. I mean, it doesn't offend me, and I'm not hating on them for using their assets or using their sexual commodity to continue to push forward and knock off the goals on their listing. You might not use your own sexual commodity in the same way that this girl has, or maybe e-girls do, in order to forward yourself. But um, if you review the pretty privileged video that I did, like we're all doing little things here just to get a little bit of sexual privilege going for ourselves. To make things easier on ourselves. So we might not all be taking it to the extent of doing live cast videos for thousands of viewers where they can see us butt naked basically, but um, something's going on with this stuff. I just wonder what type of state of mind she was in. I think also I hate to be so serious with this stuff, but I'm saying like if she was also in a situation where, she should have also rather been in a situation where she could have went to her parents to help her with the chemistry homework. It's always fault if kids aren't if children, basic children, if you're under 16, 17 years old, you're a goddamn child. If you're not doing good in school, it's somewhat on the part of the parent, largely, I believe, because it's the parents' job to support children. So, anyways, raise your kids up well. Tell them to express themselves sexually, but of course not with their teachers. We gotta have proper boundaries. This was a hard one for me. Like I said, I got two daughters, and it just made me think a certain way. The mother is very vitriolic. She's upset. She's screaming at her. The mother seems embarrassed. Again, shout out to my guy, Fallback X. Appreciate you, man. We got more. Um, we got a lot coming up. I think you're gonna like what we have set up for merch and for the Cruising Club merch. I don't have anything set up specific for this reaction stuff. This is more a promotional vehicle and gives me a chance to do something that I already seem interested in or find value in, which is just basic commentary. So again, to everybody out there listening, I appreciate you guys. Shout out to you guys. Hit me up on the Discord. Stay involved. Fallback acts. If you got guys that are interested, if you got people that are interested that you fuck with and that you trust, get them in the Discord, get them a part of the community so that we can have more members to lean on and whatnot. So we're just getting all this stuff rolling. So again, I appreciate you guys. It's been a nice amount of casual work for me and my wife, and we've been trying to enjoy every step of the process. So without further ado, let's let the rest of this video scroll through, and then we'll get to the next joint.
Clothes. I mean, I love when being exposed. She threw it back at me.
So crazy, so crazy. So she was definitely sad. Um, she was definitely sad, and I hope that that girl is in a better place right now and has learned some better boundaries. Okay, so our next video here. Can you go too far with plastic surgery? This is a Spectrum joint, a Jubilee joint here. Just premiered not too long ago. Looks to be about. We got a commercial popping in here. Shout out to Squarespace.
Is a one-stop shop that helped me set up my online store easily.
Let me skip that. Excuse you guys. So it looks like we got a video for 13 minutes 35 seconds. This is going to be my last joint for today, and then I'm going to get to the family. So we're going to get into this. Have you been considering plastic surgery? Are you unhappy with some frame of feature with your look? Do you want bigger boobs? Do you want a bigger butt? Butt injections, hip injections, lip injections. Are your ears ugly? Or is your nose ugly? Is your eyes ugly? All according to you. Remember, a lot of times we see ourselves way differently than the outside world sees us. You're probably 1 to 2 points prettier than you think, just because you're used to looking at all the details on your face. Shout out to all the pretty people. Shout out to all the ugly people out there, and all the people who are trying their best to do their best and be their best. And because essentially, like when you're trying to better yourself, it's not that you necessarily don't like yourself. You're just trying to keep a premium lid on what you represent and how the world sees you, and how much power you might be able to keep in your pocket. So really complex stuff. I want to continue to bring you guys interesting topics that we can ponder on. I don't know it all. If you know something, hit me with a message and whatnot. Again, I don't know it all. I'm just here to ponder. I'm just here to ask the hard questions. So I really appreciate you guys. We're gonna get into it though. We're gonna get into another video. So let's do that. Can you go too far with plastic surgery? Now, my immediate answer to that is of course. We've all seen the botched looks. We've all that sucks. That would suck too. It's like imagine ordering a pizza. You ask for sausage, you get anchovies, and you know what I mean. It's just not good to not receive what you've ordered with plastic surgery. I've never considered plastic surgery for myself. I like my look personally, and I feel blessed to enjoy that. But I'm sure there are a lot of people who can get reeled in and addicted with this type of thing. So really interesting, really interesting stuff here. So let's get into it. Let's get into this video here. Excuse me. This is one of my favorite old hats here, big time favorite. So let's do this. Stomach ache was worse than my SRS because they cut your stomach and they lift the muscles, and that's your core. And so just sneezing, farting, coughing, dropping something is a bitch.
I had a rhinoplasty and a breast augmentation. It has helped me overcome a lot of self-image issues that I've had, and I do not regret either of those at all. However, sometimes I do wish that I was more natural, just because I feel like society puts a big emphasis on being naturally beautiful. I was insecure about my breasts before. I didn't like the size. I was like, maybe they were a little bigger. Like, so it's funny how we always like. It's like you make a decision and then you're kind of still considering the counter opposite of that decision. You go through all the work to get the breast augmentation, but yet you're still like wishing that you were natural. Really interesting. You guys are obviously going to find me saying that a lot. Um, what do I think? What do I think about that? Um, I think there's a line to toe. I mean, I feel like if you're that unhappy with your look and then you make the decision to do something to essentially fix it, I think you just have to be balanced. You don't want to take things too far. I don't think I could ever be a fan of having somebody drag a scalpel through my skin. So, and I went ahead, I did it, and I
I could never go back. Like, it makes me so happy. Like, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, God damn, girl, where do you come from, ma? Like, okay, give me your number. I my whole entire life felt uncomfortable with my boobs because they were in a regular shape, and that was never going to change unless I got a surgery. I could never regret it because I feel so much more confident, even though they're not even like fully dropped and shaped yet. Hi, I love my plastic surgery. I've had over 225 procedures. I had a lot of.
Now, obviously, I think from a classic perspective, that would be considered going too far. Um, with somebody like this, you got to wonder what else is going on with them emotionally, what type of trauma they've potentially been through. Um, what are they looking to accomplish? There's obviously, after the first three sessions, three, four, 5 sessions, there has to be an addictive trait there that's inflamed, unfortunately. What type of feedback has she been getting from loved ones? What type of self talk does she have? How happy is she? Who's loving her? Who's she been loved by? It's just kind of like severe dysmorphia. Severe body dysmorphia is very sad, and it is an issue that these plastic surgeons are basically preying on. They don't have any guilt. These plastic surgeons are really, 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 really rich guys. Like they live the lifestyle that you wish you could live. From from a material perspective. I'm always thinking that, like, with invasive procedures like this, to be like that type of surgeon, you have to be kind of like turned off to a certain spectrum of human emotion just to be able to carry out that type of surgery.
Bad experiences, but I don't regret any of it. It's made me who I am. I have a recording career now because of it. As a trans person who goes through this cishet society, people are always nitpicking at my body. They're always like, you don't have big enough boobs. You don't have an ass. Your face looks fucked up. You don't look feminine. You look masculine. I kind of wish that I never got breast augmentation. Not because like it makes me feel any type of way, but more so I wish I didn't feel like I had to have boobs to feel pretty. I didn't like my mother pushed that a lot. Like you need to look feminine to be beautiful, and I'm like, well, you're perfect the way you are, and the way you are, you're always perfect. 100%. I'm telling you.
It's like if you start down a road of not appreciating how you look and feel, it's like, how do you pull over from that road? How do you pull over from such a journey?
Canva's just so easy
So
to
excuse
use.
me here.
People always tell us
Got a commercial. I appreciate you guys being
that
patient.
our designs are
Absolutely,
So let's
100%.
rewind that just in case you guys missed that. I was pretty before my surgery.
Absolutely, 100%. I was beautiful. I've always been. I still am, and I will be my whole life. This was just a little, again, a little salt and pepper on top. That's it. A little more flavor.
well, my nose changed my whole life, my whole perception of my face. So I think I'm beautiful now, but before when I look at pictures, I'm like, God damn, I'm so glad I got that nose job. I kind of agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, I've always felt like I'm beautiful from the inside out. No matter what anyone else tells me, like, just
It's like there's so many body parts a person has, obviously, that you could be picking at constantly and unsatisfied with. And it's like, I think one of these things that these guys potentially experience is like, okay, you fix the nose, and it's perfect, but then it only makes this other feature seem more imperfect.
because I didn't fit your beauty standard back then doesn't mean that I'm not beautiful now. It's nobody's business. If, it isn't. Sometimes I'll tell people, I guess I look like a walking plastic surgery doll, but it just I could care less. And it's
I
up.
think, like, for a woman like this or a person like this, they may take a little bit of pride in how different they appear too. Shout out to my guy Trent Clark, 2012. I hope that's the Trent that I whom I know who just moved out. So I appreciate you, Trent, for tuning in. If you like any of this stuff, man, that I got going on here, make sure you keep tuning in and get some other people interested and start blowing up my chats with whatever you desire, man, and ask some of the tough questions. I don't know it all, man. I'm just trying to ask some questions here. Just we're gonna get through a lot of different media, some comfy, some uncomfy, and we're gonna ask some tough fucking questions.
To the individual, whether you want to tell your story or not.
Well, I think when it comes to celebrities and like influencers, like you should be open about about your plastic surgery because I think that people like, especially like when they're in a higher, they have higher followings, that they should be open about it because a lot of people have had plastic surgeries, like, and you're going around
They
saying
had
it off
plastic
like you're
surgery,
having
like, should we go to the dentist?
It's like, okay, you don't want to tell me that story, that's okay, but don't tell me something's real and natural when it's plastic.
People, the last question there again, guys, was people should be open about their plastic surgery. Um, I think isn't the whole point of it for it to be like a clandestine thing, something like you do for yourself to improve. I wouldn't understand the need to necessarily double billboard it. I don't get that. I think it's just going to delegitimize your efforts to make yourself prettier. People are just going to put more questions forth than they are going to congratulate you or help you be more comfortable in your new look. Um, that's what I'm thinking that this type of habit just creates a place where you're constantly questioning yourself, regardless.
Plastic surgery doesn't hurt that bad.
Oof.
My recovery honestly wasn't that bad. Everybody told me you're gonna be in so much pain, this and that. You're not gonna be able to lift your arms. You're not gonna move. I was fine. Like 2 days later, I was in the shower. I took my shirt off. I didn't feel it.
I'll tell you, the worst one was the tummy tuck.
I'm wondering, okay, like this girl here, she seems to be aesthetically the most pleasing. I'm thinking like if like when the most interesting thought that I could surmise here is that like when the girl who's already like a nine or a 9 or a 10 feels like she needs to improve herself even more, like what does that say for people who don't appear to be as good looking as her? Um, it's just not a good warning sign. But look, I'm not here to judge these people. I commend people for being courageous enough to do what the fuck they actually want to do. Um, but I think everything needs to have balance, especially plastic surgery. Um, I think that there's an underlying power initiative with this plastic surgery stuff, the will and the power to basically completely change yourself. Um, that's power, and I think maybe they get drunken with the power to just kind of change their path. It's
Tuck. Tummy tuck was worse than my SRS. Everything. It was because they cut your stomach and they lift the muscles, and that's your core. And so just sneezing, farting, coughing, dropping something is a bitch.
My surgery plays a part in unrealistic beauty standards.
I think for me personally too, I'd be a little bit afraid of the scarification and stuff like that. Just like the dysmorphia you'd experience from the scars and whatnot. But obviously with plastic surgery, they're doing um, these incisions that are incredible too and hard to trace. My surgery plays a part in unrealistic beauty standards. And I would say that it for surely does because if you don't have such a standard and you have to basically go out of your way to do an invasive surgery in order to attain a certain look, that's obviously not. I don't know. Is realistic what you were given on a baseline standard, or is realistic what you could potentially attain based on um, potential assets, money that you have that you can spend on plastic surgery? Um, who's to say what realistic is? Um, when everything's an option.
Like people are usually not born with perfect boobies or
Yeah.
perfect anything, so it definitely does.
And it's not just plastic surgery; it's the fillers, it's the Botox,
Yeah,
it's all
exactly.
that stuff, all that
Exactly.
snowballs into. I mean, so I sometimes get complimented by people on the internet being like, "Oh, you're such a natural beauty," and I'm like, like
Natural
it's
where,
like-
baby?
Plastic surgery is a privilege.
So, as a trans person myself, I feel like plastic surgery is definitely a privilege because even just being on hormones for a trans person is a privilege, and not all of them are able to access large amounts of money just to get a procedure because they're just not granted that.
It's not a privilege. Anybody can have it. Privilege.
Right. Um, I don't know if I quite agree with her, but I think they're kind of leaning in the right place with it being a privilege based on like your means. But is it a privilege based on the respects that you've developed for yourself throughout your life? If you're that unsatisfied with yourself, this plastic surgery one is a difficult one. Let me know in the comments. Maybe I'm sure I'm wrong. I just want to continue to finish this video here. Um, my opinions aren't coming across too strong right now. Within my own head, I'm just trying to, be sure that I always give you guys my full reaction on exactly what I'm seeing. This is my first time seeing it. This video just came out from Jubilee and Spectrum here. So, very interesting stuff. Is plastic surgery a privilege? What do you think?
To me, it sounds like only certain groups, certain, a socioeconomic group can get it, but anybody can get it.
And I respect that, but I think having that option to choose, oh,
I think what she means is that anybody can want it. Can anybody attain it and get it and actually afford the surgery? Absolutely not, obviously. I mean, that's a duh. So, um, I think that's an effort by her to, want to appear more normal. Obviously, plastic surgery and whatnot it's not so zany to her.
I'm gonna go and get my things done. That is privilege, and I come from a third world country. Like I've seen struggle, I've seen bad. So to me, I'm blessed, and I think it is a privilege.
Some people overdo it with plastic surgery. Three, two,
And before we let them go, obviously, keep paying attention, you guys. This is one of the bigger bombs. Let's see what they say here.
one, go.
And again, the question is some people overdo it with plastic surgery. We got some people disagreeing, we got some people somewhat agreeing. So
I think if you go to the point in which it affects your health, nah, that is too much. So that would be overdoing it. But who are we to say, oh, that person is overdoing it? Just for the sake of it, just because you personally don't like how they look. That's none of your business. It's their body, If they're happy, it's okay.
I stopped when I felt like I needed to stop. I think if I continued to get plastic surgery, I would have started just tearing myself apart. And I feel like I might have gone progressively more critical of myself.
I never understood why people call other people botched. I think that's really fucked up, and I don't think that other people need your projections onto what they view as beautiful because the media preys on female insecurity and they beat that into your head to want to look beautiful, perfect all the time.
I've gone too far. I had liquid silicone injected in my body from head to toe, and now I'm paying the price now.
I guess like now, forgive me if I'm incorrect. I'm obviously a not obviously, but I am a straight male who enjoys women very much, and I enjoy being what I think of as a man. I'm wondering what the briefing process is like for individuals who may enjoy transsexual people and women and men. What's that briefing process like? Like, if you approach a girl and she kind of looks like, an anime girl, and you don't realize she was actually a guy. I'm just wondering, like, is that like kind of an awkward process, or do I'm sure that there's some type of way that they bridge the gap these days with the language to make it comfortable for one another. Um, that's what I think of. Like I say, like I'm always saying to you guys, I'm trying to give my real opinion on this stuff. Of course, without being offensive to people, because I don't believe in trying to be offensive to people. I just want to consider this stuff. You know, it, you don't know everything about a person when you first see them and you first decide that you're attracted to them. So it's just like, um, it seems like a responsible thing to share your sex change history with somebody who may be interested in you. Um, we live in a world nowadays, guys, where it's not everything is just binary anymore. It's not male female anymore. There's a lot of other sexual spectrums that people enjoy. So how do we create language around it so that we can help these people and ourselves be more comfortable with encountering something that might be different without having to express it in a vitriolic way, in a negative way? So continue to think on how you're treating people and how you want to be treated. And what if your kid was different?
I had it taken out of my body maybe 50.
Trent Clark, I would say it's not a privilege. There are many other ways to get plastic surgery, whether legal or not. Say it's not a privilege. Trent Clark. Trent Clark. I hear you on the privilege. There are many other ways to get plastic surgery. Um, Now, if you look at the logistics on plastic surgery, like if you're not gonna get it stateside, then that means you got to go fucking Bolivia to get some weird ass uh, procedure done to some doctor who's not certified. So I definitely think that it is a privilege once you start racking up the logistics. Again, it's not about me trying to be right. I'm hearing you guys out. Everybody has a different opinion. I want to see them all. So everybody's entitled to their opinion. The only thing I think about opinions is give yourself a chance to continue to develop your opinions always, and that's what I'm always trying to do. But yeah, I appreciate your comment here, but it just makes me think of like logistics. Like if you don't have 50 grand on you, and say you still want to get the you still want to get the procedure, and you're going to settle for the $5,000 unlisted black doctor in a rainforest somewhere. I just think that privilege starts to creep in just a little bit. But let's get back into Monique here. Some people overdo it with plastic surgery. So let's see what she says here.
50 times, but they can't ever get rid of it completely because it's plastic. Can you overdo it? Yeah. Is it my business? No.
Well, welcome.
I agree with all of you guys.
I would let my children get plastic surgery. Three, two, one, go.
If my child was underage, I wouldn't sign off on it because I would like them to mature more. And elective surgery, I think, is a big emotional roller coaster. The whole healing.
So, I mean, if your kids are interested in changing something and then they're interested in the option of plastic surgery, you got to wonder how they came around to those known options. Is because the parent got plastic surgery and talks about it or looks it up, or they saw that in a search history, or like how is a kid being briefed on that? And are you explaining to a kid that, hey, there's a maturing process that you want to go through before you start changing your body? um, as a parent, that's one of the things I basically disagree with when it comes to like these young kids, or like potentially taking hormones and stuff to change their gender and stuff. I just think that you're not giving that kid a chance to fully mature, and they're basically succumbing to the local pressures, um, and basically not being supported maybe the right way. I just think that you know that's such a drastic decision for a child.
Process and getting the operation. And by the time they're 18, that is up to them. And I would support them because obviously I'd be a hypocrite otherwise.
I am from Venezuela, and Venezuela is very big on plastic surgery. In my country, also, it's very common to gift like quinceañeras. Like, do you want your nose done? A rhinoplasty. If you don't like your nose, you're 16, 17, You can be under 18 and you get that as a birthday present.
I just
Quinceañera gifts. I think that's so interesting. What a commonality in a culture. I've never heard about that. It's very, very interesting. Imagine gifting somebody better cheekbones. Imagine gifting somebody a better hairline. Imagine gifting somebody a rounder butt. It seems preposterous. Um, and like you said here, Trent Clark, privilege. It has a fine line. Now, when is this a privilege? Is it a privilege once plastic surgery is being gifted?
I would support them with whatever they wanted, but at the same time, I have to ask them why they would want to get that in the first place. Like, did I not give you enough validation as a young person to feel more comfortable in your skin? Like, I guess I would want to know where it comes from before I give them the okay
I
to do it.
agree. 100%.
I think it's really interesting that basically a transgender person would say that there would maybe be some external circumstances going on. Based on my current understanding on transgenderism, like that it's an internal fight that these individuals are enduring, unfortunately. And I would say that the external forces obviously play a part. Which comes first? Is it nature versus nurture? Which comes first?
Social media pressure to get plastic surgery. Three, two, one, go.
Now, there's some conflation here too. I think too. Did social media make you get plastic surgery, or did your competition, your competitiveness, um, the need for you to want to be chosen, to be picked, pick me? Shout out to my video on pick me boys, pick me girls. Um, is it the need or the desire to be picked, or was it social media that set you on your line to plastic surgery? Or did you simply see a beautiful person and say, hey, I want to be seen that way too? So was it social media or was it your competitive heart?
Like, this is something I knew I wanted no matter what. Nothing could have like forced me to do it because it's something I wanted so bad. As I got older, I kind of learned that like I literally don't give a shit when anybody like tells me about myself because I know who I am and
Hell
nobody
yeah.
else does. So
As you should.
When I started 40 some years ago, there was no internet. And I just did it. It was my own obsession. I've been in the media a lot, and I've done.
I like that this person, Monique, is able to admit how they viewed and how they've manipulated this tool of surgery. Um, Let me not get in her way. Let's let her continue. Monique.
Shows about plastic surgery before, and I've noticed that people who didn't have it 30 years ago, whatever, and now all the kids have it now.
I feel like it's also hard to tell what is my own idea of beauty. Like, what is influence from society and what is my own perception? Because I struggle with this all the time. I'm like, I think to myself, well, I got plastic surgery because I wanted plastic surgery. But then I think further, I'm like, well, do I?
Now, as I'm listening to her explain this, I look at her bone features. I'm thinking, okay, she was unhappy with the way that she looked. So, in turn, was she unhappy with the way that her mother looked? How does her mother feel about the fact that she's changing features that she inherited from her? I mean, of course, we're getting a little deeper into it, and that's what we do all this for. Comment below, let me know. Obviously, this plastic surgery stuff has a lot of aesthetic, a lot of superficial, a lot of baseline value, but I'm starting to, I'm sensing a lot of pain with this stuff.
Want to look this way because of media, but I do, at the end of the day, feel like we all have like a subjective opinion on beauty. I just feel like everyone makes it out to seem like, oh, you got plastic surgery because all the Instagram models made you feel like you needed it. But I really truly believe that there are people who just genuinely like that appearance. Like in your
Yeah,
case,
it resonates with them.
The results of my surgery were exactly what I expected. Three, two, one, go.
Now, obviously, with the question here, the results of my surgery were exactly what I expected. This would be the heavy stuff. This would be the stuff internally, psychologically, that would be hard to deal with once you've made that decision to have plastic surgery, and then, unfortunately, the result didn't match your expectation. I just feel like that would be not fun.
Although I'm super happy with both of my procedures, I they're not perfect. Being in the adult industry, I've had people point it out to me in my videos and like clown on my
You're still looking so.
so that has definitely made me a little insecure. However, if I didn't get that lift, then my would be really sad.
The only surgery that I got that I didn't expect the results was my reassignment surgery. I actually was really desperate, so I flew to Thailand by myself. I didn't realize it would take almost like a full year to fully recover, and I wasn't prepared to enter womanhood because I don't have a mom that taught me that stuff.
Okay, now a little bit of my masculine privilege is seeping into my opinion here. Now, stay with me. I never want to be offensive to anybody. I just have to say that what I'm trying to bring here to you guys is my real opinion, right? So I'm saying my real opinion is that um, the thought of reorganizing or removing my genitalia in any way whatsoever, it definitely makes my stomach hurt. Um, I'm also forced to be empathetic to this individual who didn't feel at home in their own bodies, so they needed and wanted to make these changes. I definitely understand that. Um, I think that this stuff makes me think of like, okay, to an individual, what does courage really mean? What does courage mean to you? What are you willing to do? What are you really willing to do? Um, this seems to be one of the most extreme things that you could do. Um, in changing oneself. Like I said, I understand like trying to attempting to put yourself on a path to your base self. Um, it's just I'm just so surprised at the amount of potential horrors these people, horrors, dangers, um, what they're willing to go through in order to reconcile this goal.
So I would
Well, it's
always,
hard. I can't
yeah,
even look at my for a year.
but it was really hard because I was always so hard on myself because my
Obviously you heard the I think that was Monique says she couldn't do something to some private part of hers for a year. I mean, put yourself in that place. What if you couldn't use your butt for a year? What if it was something simple like nipple rash? What if your nipple was flaring up? When you take a sweaty run. What if your nipple was flaring up for a whole year straight? Um, that'd be minuscule in comparison to recovering from a surgery, one of these type of procedures.
my brothers would say really disgusting to me, like saying, "Oh, why did you even get that surgery? Why did you even cut off that part of yourself? Like now you just have like a festering hole and it just smells and it's disgusting." And
How old were you?
I was 19.
Oh, that's very young.
There's some obviously really darker going on with that. The fact that her family, her siblings, would be so evil to her about it. I think that the siblings were obviously experiencing some amount of doubt or embarrassment with the given situation, seeing their brother transition into a female. I'm asking myself, that would be difficult for a lot of people. Um, because it would force you to question what you believe about yourself and the influences, and you'd ask yourself, well, did I experience anything that would influence me to do that same thing that my brother or sister did? um, I think with that, her siblings were going to go out of their way to show that they had nothing to do with their sibling, excuse me, her final decision to change um, her sexuality through a reconstructive procedure. Um, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are forced to get counseling, family group counseling, or have to turn their back on family members, all of this stuff just because they're not getting the type of support that they would need. These are strong people. I mean, these are strong, strong people. Scary stuff.
Yeah.
I was 19 too. I've had so many surgeries that some have been good, some have been bad, but I never blame the doctor, you know? And I've had some quacks work on me, you know, and they fucked up. But you know what? I just live with it and just, you know, you can go ahead and when that heals.
I don't even know where to begin when she says like that they botched her basically or messed up on her procedure and she doesn't even blame the doctor. I don't know where to start with that one. Does she blame herself? Blase, 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 blah, blah, blah. What's going on with that? She doesn't blame the doctor if her surgery is messed up. Does she look at it as another opportunity just to get more reconstructive, corrective surgery? What's going on with that?
A little bit, go ahead and go to someone else if you're not happy.
I really like how you recognize that and you don't blame the doctor.
Oh, I don't blame it on the
Yeah,
doctor.
I
No,
love
why
that.
should I? You know,
Yeah,
because they could do the same procedure on me and with you, and we
yeah,
could have. I could get an infection and
yeah.
screw
And
up,
that can be totally
or the
fine.
implant or
And the other
whatever
way
might
around.
settle different.
Mm-hmm.
Plastic surgery made me happier. Three, two, one, go.
I feel like I was happy before, but I just put on like a real bra to go out the other night, and like the joy that it brought me, like I literally almost could have cried because like it was something I wanted for so long that it genuinely made me happy. Like it wasn't like I was sad before.
How much did this go for now?
Well, my surgery was 6,400, so it wasn't that bad.
What? 64?
Yeah, my happiness really is not based on my plastic surgery. Did I add confidence? Oh, 100%. Yes, I was happy before, and if they were taken away tomorrow, honestly, it would suck, but I would still be happy. I would still be there. It's okay. I'm alive.
If they were taken away tomorrow, it would suck, and you maybe would be happy, but would you decide to get another procedure to re-involve yourself? I'm wondering. I understand what she's saying here that her happiness isn't equated through her procedures, and it sounds as if she's alluding to other emotional situations she might have going on. Um, our aesthetic look or our look doesn't reflect always how we feel about the world or how the world feels about us. Um, but it does matter. It does matter, and I think we're always trying to find a balance with um, how do I get it not to seem so? How do I get it to matter but not become a pretentious front for myself?
Hey, that's all that matters.
You'd be pissed. Let's be real.
No, I would be pissed
Yeah.
for a while, bro. But eventually, like, if that's how it has to be,
Definitely.
okay, whatever. Like, I'm alive at the end of the day, you know? Like, it was a choice. It was a cosmetic surgery. It's not something that, like, I
Cosmetic,
needed.
cosmetic surgery.
You know, it's something that I wanted and I chose to have.
Wow.
Can I hug you? Hold on. Let's hug you.
Okay, so to pause this here before it runs all the way out, I appreciate everybody who was listening and shout out to you guys, Trent, Richie, Salome, you guys. I appreciate you guys. Um, Now I definitely don't look down upon plastic surgery. I think that I sympathize with somebody who wants to get plastic surgery because you can sense that they're unhappy with themselves and you want them to be able to have a route or a solution for their unhappiness, especially if it's some superficial value. I think in a society where we're always augmenting everything, like you change your hair, you change your shoes, you change your pants and your shirt, like everything else is changeable seemingly except for your body. But people definitely, obviously, with procedures go about doing that. You can't judge a book by its cover. You can't just judge people. I think these are all expressions of immense guilt and lack of sufficiency that we feel within ourselves in order to make these type of decisions. Um, it definitely requires some amount of braveness. Like you would have to be brave to go under the knife. So don't kid yourself. You can make fun of people all you want to, but would you be brave enough to go about changing something yourself? Also, this is interesting stuff, and it's obviously really relevant. And it doesn't seem like with the emergence of potential transhumanism and our state with technology that it's going to go away. I think you're only going to see. I think you're going to end up seeing a lot of technological procedures that involve plastic surgery routes. So I think look out for that. We're going to be in for a different type of future. Um, as a final thought too, more of a sci-fi thought. Again, this is not slanderous to anyone. I'm more so thinking. I think that with the aptness for the transgender community to engage in these procedures, I'm thinking they might end up being on the cusp, also on transhumanism and things like the Neuralink. Um, that adding or augmenting to your overall aesthetic ability or your capability would seem like it probably would be easier for them to endeavor than the normal person who maybe who regardless of a plastic surgery procedure doesn't even really like to wash their face or cut their hair. So people who are into augmenting themselves with tattoos and piercings and fashion and style and plastic surgery at the most extreme rate, I think that these are the people who are going to be at the forefront of the again at the forefront of transhumanism. If you're not familiar with that, I'll do a video on transhumanism soon. There's going to be more relevancy to that. um, it's going to start out not necessarily with bionic arms and legs. I think it's going to be simple heads up display type augments for glasses and Neuralinks and just technology like this that's supposed to help us navigate in the technological sphere better. But I think things are going to quickly escalate into people being like half humanoid or part humanoid to some range in the next 20 to 30 years. So there's a lot going on with this. It's definitely deeper than what it seems. I want to try to find some more fun videos for you guys. Maybe I'm not too fun. Hopefully, this is reaching the intellectuals or the people who want to ponder and consider stuff randomly with me. So let me know if I'm boring. Let me know if the content's boring. Hopefully, I wasn't offensive to anybody. I commend anybody who's willing to take the take a leadership role in their own life. So shout out to everybody listening. More content to come. I'm always trying to surprise you with what I might do a presentation on. If you like this content, share it with friends, talk shit about it. You know, do what you can to get me to put something up here even more interesting. So I appreciate you guys. And it's time for me to get out of here.